Silver, away!
A fiery horse with a speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty, Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. In the early days of the western United States, many of the men in public office used their position for private gain instead of the people's good. These corrupt officials formed the greatest barrier the masked rider of the plains met in his fight for justice. And only his strength and courage, unequaled throughout the West, could have won the final victory for the forces of right over might. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for Greenwood. There's going to be trouble. Hi-Yo Silver, away!
The sun was setting as the Lone Ranger and Tonto reined up on the hill outside of Greenwood.
We won't go any farther, Tonto. There's a cowboy and a girl on the trail ahead.
MC Mask.
Yes. I'll make camp here, and you ride into town and get the supplies we need.
Maybe we stay here a long time.
It's possible. The stories we've heard about Greenwood are true.
Oh, that shot.
We can see the main street from here. Must have been fired from one of the houses.
People run out in the street now.
I see them. Find out what's happened, Tonto.
Tonto, do it. Get him up, Scout.
There's a crowd in the street outside of Joe Williams' house, Jerry. Let's hurry.
No, Ann.
I heard a shot.
Well, so did I, but that's nothing unusual in Greenwood. And besides, I got something important to tell you.
Something more?
Yeah.
Can't be as important as buying the ranch. You worked a long time for it, Jerry.
That's right. I wanted that little spread mighty bad for a special reason.
What is it?
Well, Anna, gosh, I never figured this would be so hard to get out, but Oh.
Well?
Do you like singing in the cafe?
Why, I don't mind. Of course, I don't like it when I have to be nice to people like Bart Sterling, but most of the boys are all right.
Wouldn't you like it better if...
Get him up, Scout.
Oh, right off the side, there's an engine coming.
But I...
Get over, he seems to be in a hurry.
Hurry!
Oh, howdy!
I'll be dogged now. I'll never get it out.
Of course, I don't intend to sing in a cafe all my life. I guess I'll get married and settle down on a ranch in a nice green valley somewhere. I guess every girl looks forward to something like that.
Well, say...
What?
I was just wondering if you ain't made any plans yet, have you?
Not definitely.
Not Bart Sterling.
Oh, I should say not.
Not me.
Why, Jerry, if I said yes to that, you'd wheel your bronc round, you'd never stop using your quirt till you got to California. Do you think I want to scare you to death?
But you wouldn't. I'd feel mighty brave.
Oh, you would.
Well, I mean, proud. Oh, you just been egging me on.
I've been doing my best.
Huh?
Land sakes, Jerry, pop the question.
Will you?
Yes.
Yippee! Come on, the whole town's gonna celebrate.
No, Jerry, no. You must promise me that you won't tell anybody what we're planning to do.
There's a crowd up ahead.
Bart Sterling's there. Jerry, I mean it. You mustn't tell anybody. You go out to the valley and get your ranch fixed up. Don't come back here. Just send me word and I'll meet you in Jonesville. We'll get married there.
What's the idea?
Promise me?
Well, if that's the way you want it.
That's the way I want it. When I leave Greenwood, I'll never come back.
But, Ann, I can't figure what...
Now, that's Marshal.
See his face before with the sun behind him.
They're looking for you.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't trust Bart.
Just because he's sheriff, that don't mean he can make any trouble for me.
Rein up. You're wrong, Jerry. In Greenwood, Bart Sterling can make trouble for anybody he wants to. Hightail it out of here.
What's that?
Hurry up.
I'm not running away from anybody.
You'll be sorry you didn't, Marshal. Get down off that horse.
What for?
Get off or we'll drag you off. Come on, Pete.
Take it easy, Sheriff. Now, what's on your mind?
You're under arrest for the murder of Joe Williams.
Murder?
You're crazy, Bart.
Crazy, am I? You won't think so for long.
Just a second, Sheriff. Let's get this straight. I don't know nothing about any murder.
I expected you'd say that. But Joe didn't die as quick as you thought he would. He told Pete and me that you killed him.
When? When was he killed?
About 15 minutes ago.
That was the shot we heard on the trail, Jerry. We were half mile outside of town, Bart. Jerry couldn't have done it.
Trying to save him, huh?
It's the truth.
Marshall had his horse waiting in back of Williams' cabin. After the shooting, he headed across the meadow and down into the hollow. Then he cut back to the trail and rode into town, trying to make us think he just got here.
Jerry and I have been together since 2 o'clock. We rode all the way to Painted Ridge and back.
You two are planning to get hitched, aren't you?
That's our business.
It's the law's business, too. Because now you're trying to save his neck with a lie.
Don't let her get away with it, Sheriff.
She hasn't a chance. When Jerry Marshall comes to trial, he can tell the story to the judge and the jury. But we got a dead man's word against it. Take him to jail, boys.
Get him off, Stone! Then Sheriff take him to jail.
He couldn't have done it, Tonto. We saw him on the trail below us at the time the shot was fired.
That's right.
But the sheriff won't listen to the testimony of a masked man. If he wouldn't listen to that girl. It's a frame-up. And unless we can do something about it, the boy will hang.
Now, him get trial.
But not a fair trial. We know that Judge Rolfe is just as crooked as Bart Sterling. Bart will see to it that his own men serve on the jury. Marshall won't even have a lawyer to defend him. Wait a minute.
You got plan?
There are still more honest men in Greenwood than crooks. We could use this case to arouse them. We might be able to clean up the whole town.
You not want boy to die?
Of course not, and he won't have to.
We help him escape?
Not before we try something else first. We'll get him the right lawyer.
And who that?
Old Jonathan Greenwood himself, the man for whom the town was named.
Him live plenty far.
I know. He's been living on his ranch in Horseshoe Valley for the last 10 years. But I believe he'll come back to Greenwood when he realizes that he's needed.
You go there now?
Tonight, Tonto, this minute. Here, Silver.
Tonto ride with you?
You'd better stay here. I won't be able to get back before tomorrow night. Judge Greenwood will want to know everything that's happened in town.
Me watch close.
Come on, Silver.
Hi-yo, Silver, away!
Silver Bullet.
You've seen my horse.
Call him Silver. Silver Bullet in a mask.
Do they mean anything to you?
They certainly do. But I think your errand would have been enough to identify you.
And what's your answer?
It's hard for me to believe that Greenwood should have changed so much since I left it.
Bart Sterling and Judge Rolfe have run the town for the last 2 years.
So they've all forgotten me, eh?
The work that you did in the early days of Greenwood will never be forgotten.
I'm an old man. I haven't touched a law book for 10 years.
And there's nothing difficult about the case. The boy's innocent. The girl's testimony will convince any jury. But they need someone to help them who isn't afraid of Bart Sterling.
What's happened to Bill Leonard and High Walsh? What's happened to all the men who came west with me?
Some of them are gone.
Of course. But the younger ones...
I can't answer that. Perhaps they're too interested in their ranches or their business. I only know that Bart Sterling runs the town. His word is law.
You feel that the honest men only need a leader to drive them out?
I feel that they need you.
You know, Masked Man, I imagine that the days of my usefulness were past. I'm an old man. I'm old and tired. But a call to duty such as this, it's done me more good than all the medicine in the world. I'll take the case.
Good. If you saddle up right now, we'll be able to reach Greenwood by nightfall.
You go ahead. I'll meet you there.
But they may hold the trial tomorrow or the next day.
If it's tomorrow, I'll be too late. I can't ride that far. My men will drive me into Three Rivers, and I'll take the stage. I'll be in Greenwood tomorrow night.
I'll travel with you.
You may be needed before then.
I can't stop the trial.
But from what I've heard of you, you might be able to save the boy's life.
You're right. He'll be alive when you get there.
Now, I think you'd better go before I call my men. Might be hard to explain your match.
I'll see you in Greenwood.
Tomorrow night.
The Lone Ranger and Silver reached the camp outside of Greenwood shortly after dark. There, Tonto was waiting for the masked man with good news. The trial would not be held until the morning after Jonathan Greenwood was scheduled to arrive. But most of the people in town seemed to believe Bart's story of the dead man's accusation, and it seemed almost certain that Jerry would be convicted. The following day, Tonto spent in Greenwood, keeping a close watch on the sheriff. Late that afternoon,
Well, look who's coming. Hiya, Bart. You look like the cat that ate the canary.
I've been working, Judge. Me and Bud just paid a call on Nan.
You call that work?
Yep. It's going to save you work tomorrow. That trial's going to break records for speed.
Suits me.
I figured it would. You never did like to sit on that bench long.
Makes me dizzy. Have a drink.
Don't you want to know what happened?
Well, of course, I know Marshall's guilty, and you might just as well hang him now, but a judge shouldn't make up his mind about things like that beforehand. I'll wait until tomorrow to hear your evidence.
That's just it. There won't be any evidence for man.
She's been telling everybody that Polecat has an alibi.
She's changed her mind.
Huh?
Changed her mind. Just admitted to me that story was nothing but a lie.
Well, now, we could hold a trial this afternoon if there's just you and Pete to listen to the
Trouble with that is, Pete's riding guard on the stage from Three Rivers today. He won't be free till tomorrow.
That's too bad.
But don't you worry, Judge. From the time you leave this bar until you get back, it won't be more than a half an hour.
We'll drink to that.
Yeah. To justice.
To justice.
Well, Tonto? Something wrong?
Sheriff, go to girl's house.
Try and make her change her story. He can't do it. If it's true that she and Jerry plan to get married, she'll do anything in her power to save him.
That's wrong.
What do you mean?
Sheriff tell judge, girl not talk in court.
But she must know that Jerry will hang if she doesn't.
Sheriff laugh.
He must have threatened her in some way. We'll have to find out how. As soon as it's dark, I'll go and see her.
And what about Judge?
The stage will be due about the same time. You go to the express office and meet him. Hire a wagon and bring him out here.
Tonto do it.
But if that girl won't testify, he can't do a thing. Marshall will be condemned to hang. Steady, Silver.
Who's there?
A friend.
A friend? Who are you?
I'll have to step inside before I can tell you that.
Oh, you're masked. Bart sent you here.
No. I want to help you, and I want to help Marshall.
You can't.
Well, that depends on you. I've heard that you don't intend to take the witness stand tomorrow.
I don't care what you've heard.
Why not?
Get out of here.
Isn't it true that you and Jerry Marshall plan to get married?
What difference does that make to anyone but us?
You're the only person who can save his life. You realize that, don't you?
You said that you went from Bart.
What if I were?
If you were, I wouldn't have to tell you anything.
Well, perhaps this will change your mind. Old Jonathan Greenwood will arrive on the stage tonight. He's going to defend Jerry.
Jonathan Greenwood.
One of the greatest lawyers the West ever knew. The man who founded this town.
But how? Why should he?
Because he feels it's his duty to protect an innocent man. He's never even seen Jerry. And Jerry means 1,000 times as much to you. Are you going to fail in your duty because you lack courage?
No, I'll tell you everything. I thought I was all alone before, but now that I...
Kimasabi.
Tonto.
Stage come in. Judge not on it.
Not on it?
No.
He had plenty of time to get to Three Rivers. There isn't another stage until tomorrow night. Tonto, are you sure?
Tonto, sure. Nobody in stage, no guard. Only driver.
Pete.
What's that?
Pete's the guard. He's one of Bart's men.
Both Jonathan and the guard missing. That means
It means that Greenwood may have started out, but he never got here. It means there's nothing you can do to beat them. Nothing.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, Please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When the stage arrived in town, neither Jonathan Greenwood nor the guard were on board. Pete was one of Bart's men, and the Lone Ranger knew that the sheriff must have some connection with the lawyer's disappearance. He and Tonto waited in the shadows outside of Bart's home. The sheriff and Judge Rolfe were alone. They seemed to be waiting for someone, until finally, hours later, a dark figure broke from the cover of the cottonwoods and ran toward the back door.
Still up good.
Come on in.
Yeah. Did Harry tell you?
He told me you were inside the coach talking to the old man.
Yeah, that's right.
And that you called for him to stop and you marched the old man out at the point of a gun. Then you told Harry to drive on.
Yeah.
You got a lot of crust pulling a hold up without orders? Let's give him 90 days, teach him a lesson, Bart.
Where's the money?
I haven't got any.
Are you trying to double-cross me?
Let go, Bart.
Where's the money?
You gotta listen to me.
Well,
Thanks.
go on.
Sure. I knew the old gent was coming here, and I decided to find out why. That's why I swung down into the coach. Well, boss, his name was Jonathan Greenwood.
Leaping cactus.
Jonathan Greenwood. There ain't two of them, and he was coming here to be Jerry Marshall's lawyer.
Who sent for him?
How should I know that? But it didn't take much figuring to know you wouldn't like it.
Huh. Count me in on that.
Well, so why not hold him outside of town until the trial was over?
Maybe.
No two ways about it. It's the opinion of this court that you use your brains for once, Pete.
Yeah, I got him on.
I don't want to know where he is. We're much obliged, but this was your idea. I don't want to get mixed up in any trouble with Jonathan Greenwood.
The old fire eater.
Hey, you can't go back on me, boss. I was
You'll
only...
get $100 for the job.
I was only... Did you say $100?
And the idea was yours.
Well, sure. That's all right with me.
Don't move. You're all covered.
A masked man.
An engine.
You're talking to the law, mister.
I know who you are, Sterling. And I just wanted to give you a friendly warning.
Do I know you?
This is straight. You and your gang had better get out of the country.
I'm head man in this county.
I said country, not county. The man who killed Jonathan Greenwood won't be safe anywhere in the United States. Adios.
Boss, shall I
You
go...
didn't say you'd killed him.
The fool.
I didn't. I swear I didn't.
That crook must have found his body.
And then he killed him. Let's get a posse together.
There he's gone. Not a sign of him.
We'd never catch him. And Greenwood left Three Rivers on your stagecoach.
Well, I could say we were held up.
6 hours late. You can't get away with that.
I didn't kill him. I just tied him up and left him in an old cabin.
He's old. Maybe he died natural.
There's only one thing left for you, Pete.
Vamoose?
That'll leave us all in a mess. No. Get back to that cabin. If the old man's dead, get rid of his body so nobody finds it.
The door's opening, Tonto. That's Pete. I don't think Bart will let him run away. I believe the trick worked.
Him right now.
And we'll follow him. Let's hope he leads us to Judge Greenwood. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
It get light. Yes. Kyle's start plenty soon. We're nearing the end of the trail, Tonto. He's heading straight for that cabin. Leave Silver and Scout here? No, he's going inside. We can't waste any time. Come on, Silver, faster. Get him up, Scout. He sees us, Tonto.
Get away, or I'll shoot.
Drop that gun, Pete.
The masked man. Hey!
Good work, Tonto. You roped him.
Hey, what's the idea? What'd you come back here for?
We wanted to make sure that neither you nor Greenwood missed the trial.
Huh? Well, what's the idea?
Tie his hands behind his back, Tonto.
Good morning.
Are you all right?
Well, I have spent more comfortable nights.
I'll have the ropes off in a minute.
It's much better.
May I help you up?
Yes. When does the trial start?
We'll have to hurry. Tonto, you and Pete ride double on Scout.
You get up there. Get up.
This bay is yours, sir.
Oh, never mind. I can still swing into a saddle.
Here, Silver. I'll ride beside you and tell you everything that's happened in town.
Excellent. It's time I gave little thought to my brief.
I have a plan, too. We'll see what you think of it. Are you ready, Tonto?
You ready?
Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
There's the town below.
Yes, it hasn't changed much to the eye.
There's no one on the street. That means they're all in the courthouse.
The trial's begun. I'm afraid I
Set
can't...
your own pace, sir. I'll ride on ahead. But first, do you think my plan will work?
He hasn't heard any of it, has he?
No. I gave Tonto the signal to drop back.
Yeah, it stands a good chance, then. Our friend Pete doesn't impress me as being overly intelligent.
That's what I'm counting on. And don't hurry, sir. I'll make sure that the jury doesn't reach a verdict before you get there. Come on, Silver.
Good luck.
Hail, Silver, away!
Order! Order in the court!
Well, gents, I've told you what Joe Williams said before he died, and I guess that's all you need to hear. It's too bad Pete can't be here to back me up, but you've all heard him talking around town. Now, you want to go into the other room to consider your verdict, or shall we get it over with right now?
Aren't you going to let me take the stand?
Order! This trial's taken over 15 minutes already. You're living on borrowed time, Marshal.
I'm innocent.
Order! If we wasn't going to hang you, I'd fine you for contempt of court.
Reach for the ceiling, everybody.
It's the masked man. Throw him out.
Don't move, anyone. Sheriff, put your guns on the bench in front of the judge.
You can't...
Hurry up.
I am.
I'll tell your deputies to do the same thing.
He's got us. Do what he says.
That's it. Don't touch them, Judge.
Not me.
Now get away from in front of the judge. On the other side of the room, all of you. Step down from the bench, Judge.
Hey, there's a trial going on.
I'm going to take your place.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I got a little business to attend to. I'll be mighty obliged to have you relieve me for a while.
Stand over there beside the sheriff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me through. Let me through. Masked man, what's the use of all this? Just set him free and let him get out of the county. He'll be safe then.
Before we finish, the whole town will be safe. Take the witness stand.
Me?
Swear her in, clerk.
You going to be the judge now?
Hurry up.
Now, I'll put your hand on the book. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good work, Your Honor. There's no judge in the West I'd rather plead a case before.
Gentlemen of the jury, I'd like you to meet the counsel for the defense, Jonathan Greenwood.
Hello, boys. It's been a long time.
Bring Pete down here, Tonto. Your witness has been sworn in.
Excellent. Your name, please?
Ann Dalton.
Suppose you tell us in your own words what you know of the murder.
I only know that Jerry didn't do it. He couldn't have.
Why not?
There was only one shot fired. When Jerry and I heard that shot, we were riding along the trail, at least a half a mile outside of town.
I see. Why did you decide not to give that testimony here in court?
And
were you afraid?
Not for myself. You must believe that, Jerry.
Did anyone suggest to you that it would be wiser to remain silent?
They said that if I didn't take the witness stand, they'd let Jerry off with a jail sentence. And if I testified, he'd never leave the courtroom alive. Not even if the jury acquitted him.
Who are they? Who was it that made the threat?
It was I object.
Objection overruled. Now tell the jury who threatened you.
It was the sheriff, Bart Sterling.
Well, that's all, Miss Dalton. I'm calling on Pete Atkins to take the chair. In In my opinion, gentlemen of the jury, this obvious effort of the prosecution to intimidate the witness permits only one conclusion. I shall try to prove that conclusion now.
It ain't legal. That masked man ain't a judge. I object.
Objection overruled. Swear in the witness.
Now, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Well, I do.
Careful, Pete.
Quiet, Sheriff. Stay back with your men.
Pete, where were you when the shot was fired?
Well, across the street from Joe's house in the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm. Were you alone?
No, sheriff was with me.
What did you do when the shot was fired?
We ran across the street.
Now, just where did the bullet enter Joe's body?
Well, it went straight through the heart.
You fool. That's enough, Sheriff.
Well, maybe I'm wrong about that.
It went straight through the heart. Did you hear Joe accuse Marshall of killing him?
Yeah.
Pete, the men on this jury are cattlemen. They've lived on the range all their lives. They know that a man who's shot straight through the heart dies instantly.
Well, in most cases.
In every case. As a matter of fact, when the sheriff entered Joe Williams' house, he found you standing over the dead body, didn't he? He promised to give you protection.
No.
Pete Atkins, you killed Joe Williams.
I didn't. Pete, look out. It was the sheriff himself. I saw him.
Defense rests, Your Honor.
The case is dismissed.
And may I suggest that you appoint some special officers to take charge of the sheriff and his deputies?
I'll leave that to you.
Shorty, Ben, get some boys together and keep those men under guard. But don't leave the courtroom, anyone. We have another case to consider.
I suppose you're talking about me.
That's perfectly correct, Judge Rolfe.
You can't accuse me of breaking any laws. I've been careful.
I'm going to head a petition to the governor to have you removed from office.
Going to kick me out, eh?
Exactly.
Well, Greenwood, I'm going to save you the trouble. I'm going to consider myself kicked. So long, boys.
No, you don't. You're not going to get away like that. He's cut in on every job we ever pulled. He's going to jail with the rest of us.
Bart, I'm sure disappointed in you. Shorty, see if you can find another pair of handcuffs in his pockets.
Well, now, men, your town is free of this gang. Are you going to keep it safe for honest men and women? Well, the responsibility for good government is in your hands, in the hands of each and every one of you. That's the fundamental principle of the democratic ideal. Are you all true Americans? Remember that. And let's hope that the next time the Lone Ranger comes to Greenwood, he won't have to remind you of your allegiance.
The Lone Ranger?
Where is he?
He saved my life.
He saved both our lives. We want to thank him.
He's gone. But the best thanks we can give him is to make Greenwood the home of justice.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.